Welcome to Psychic Bent. My name is Carrie.
And I'm Kim. We are two sisters wanting to help other psychics learn and grow in their abilities and to help educate about spirits, angels, and everything psychic. Hello, listeners. Welcome back to Psychic Bent. On this episode, we are going to be discussing candle magic. And personally, I did not know about candle magic. I didn't know anything about it, that it existed, nothing, until Carrie introduced me to it. So, Carrie, why don't you start us off and jump right in onto candle magic?
Absolutely. Now, if you don't do magic, but you manifest, it's the same thing. If you're doing just a simple candle lighting with intention, and now there are, of course, the in-depth candle magic. There's where people do spells, and there's lots of steps to specific things. We're not going to dive into that. We're basically going to be talking about candle magic. What does the flame mean how it's burning? What kind of candle? What kind of candle?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of how do you set it up to manifest?
Right. There was a little interesting thing that I found out when I did my research, and it really made me think how often we do things that we don't realize go back to something from the past. Meaning that with candle magic, you are setting intentions.
Yes.
And wishes and such. And if you think about it, think about your birthday and your birthday cake.
I was going to say,
I
knew where you were going. You make a wish, you blow out the candle.
Yeah. In hopes or wishing that comes true. It's the same concept.
Yeah. It is the same concept.
And it's built into our everyday life still.
Even decorating Christmas tree has other meanings to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
From where decorating the tree originated from, but that's a different podcast. But yeah, blowing out your candles, making a wish.
Yeah.
That is candle magic.
Exactly. It just was like a light bulb for me. So.
Well, it's things you don't think about because it's not talked about. I mean, we talked about it before. The nursery or the little rhyme, rain, rain, go away, come back another day.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what that is?
That's the Black Plague.
No, that's Ring Around the Rosie.
Oh, that's Ring Around the Rosie. That's right.
Yeah, rain, rain, go away, come back another day is a ritual to make it stop raining.
Right.
But as a children's rhyme, it was there.
Correct.
So it's interesting. Some of these things have been carried from hundreds of years, the traditions.
Mm-hmm.
They've morphed. They've changed.
Mm-hmm.
Other people have adopted the traditions. And so it's kind of interesting to see what is today.
Right.
So with candles, first of all, I'm going to talk about the different color candles and what they represent. So choosing the appropriate candle color is vital when performing candle magic or rituals of any kind. Mm-hmm. Every color has an essence, promotes a feeling, and gives off specific energy. And we've had at other podcasts, Kim, where you've mentioned candles for like different chakras, different melodies for whatever certain empaths, things like that. Mm-hmm. So basically we were kind of leading up to this with previous podcasts. We just didn't go into great detail.
True.
So it shouldn't be a big surprise that we're going over it now, I would think.
I agree.
Choosing a specific color, you're setting the tone for what your desired outcome is, and that's for you alone, the color. You can control the narrative of what you hope to accomplish, what you're intending to happen, and then you're going to basically want to pick the right kind of candle as well to go with what you're wanting to manifest. Does that make sense?
Yes. You're talking about the different sizes, correct?
Yes. So we're going to go over the colors, and then we're going to go over the different kinds of candles and depending on what you want to manifest.
And how much time you have to burn the candle, because if you're burning it at 8 o'clock at night, you don't want to leave it burning all night long unless you're going to be up all night long.
Well, you can burn it all night long with the specific candles, okay, as well, as long as they're in a fireproof container.
Okay.
Because some candles are meant to burn and not go out.
Okay.
For the intention to happen. But you could use birthday candles for an intention. But if you're wanting to manifest something that's really large, and it's going, and keep in mind, manifesting takes time.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to wake up this morning, I'm going to manifest that I won the lottery tonight. Well, that's not how that works. You know? But if you want to manifest abundance, you're going to pick a particular candle, you're going to pick a particular size, and then you're going to burn that and let it go to the universe. But we're going to get into that a little more in depth. But I was just going to go over the color of the candles right now.
Okay.
So you're ready for that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the red candle is a color of blood or life force, vitality, attraction, sensuality, desire, ambition, virility, and strength. It is the color of birth and death and fire and earth. It's also the color of violence, love, and healing.
And passion.
It is considered by many to be the most magical color due to the balanced properties and connection to the primordial and ancestral energies. Red is the sacred color of the goddess Isis and Lilith and is associated with deep magic, primordial or chaos magic that does not take into account ideas of good or bad, or dark or light. The color red also corresponds with Aries and is linked with Mars. Red candles can be used in spells regarding vitality, strength, and health. They can also be used to focus on achieving goals, overcoming obstacles. It also can be used for passion magic.
Mm-hmm.
A side note on that, because red has so much strength, all this different. Don't use it if you use that to try to find romance, it's not going to be the romance you want.
Right.
Because of the volatile nature of the red.
Yeah, there's a different color to use for that.
Right. So if you're looking to just have a good time, and it doesn't matter if you're looking for a monogamous relationship, then you could go with red. Most people go with red because they think love red, but that's not really what it is if you're seeking a long-term relationship.
Right.
So that would be a different color, which we're going to get to. But I just wanted to denote that, don't go right for the red if you're looking for a romantic type relationship. But red is good for another different type of situations, so you just keep that in mind. Now, if you are going to be doing a lot of spell work, depending on what you want, and I made a reference to chaos magic. Now,
Okay.
we don't go there,
No.
but if that's your thing, fine. But be careful
Mm-hmm.
because, that's chaos. So now, orange promotes positive energy, exuberance, and courage, and is linked to the power of the sun. It is associated with the planet Mercury and the element of fire. This color is useful for obtaining positive outcomes, job successes, and wish fulfillments. If you've been considering for a new job or wish to be professionally noticed within a larger group, you would use an orange candle to burn to stand out from the rest. Because orange represents the turning of the leaves in the fall, it can also utilize with dealing with change, transformation, and alchemy.
That's interesting.
Okay, the next candle is yellow, and yellow exudes brilliance, joy, and clarity. It is also linked to solar deities such as Apollo, Horus, and Mithras. Use yellow candles to promote clairvoyance, insight, and when you're seeking the truth in spell work. Yellow is also a popular candle color for unhexing, uncrossing, and protection spells. You can employ yellow candles when seeking healing guidance and to brighten your mood or expel depression. Overall, yellow can be used for rituals that invoke happiness and encourage healing from an operation or illness. If you feel like someone has done something to cast something towards you that is not your good, that's where you're going to want a yellow candle. What were you going to say?
It's an element of air also. And it's good for communication.
Okay. Did you want to talk about green?
No, go ahead. You're on a roll here.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, well, most commonly green, you think of what? Money, abundance, greed. The ancient Egyptians, however, it was a color of life, fertility, and youth. In Celtic folklore, green is also associated with fairies and their magic, which connects us to the other world or spiritual realm that somewhat parallels our own with deities, spirits, and fays. Earth and Venus are the fixed planets for the color green, and water and earth for the colors associated with these elements. Green is also associated with Taurus. This color exudes strong vibrations of luck, prosperity, and wealth. Green energy is also potent for those wishing to bear children, and in turn could be used for fertility. Green represents the bounty of the earth and the riches supplied to us by Mother Nature, and is the perfect color for rituals to seek financial growth, stability, luck, abundance, and success. It can also be used to counter jealousy, ambition, greed, and theft.
Interesting.
Do you have anything for indigo?
Would that be considered blue?
It's a color of blue, and then there's blue.
What about purple?
Purple's a different color altogether.
I don't have anything that specifically says indigo.
Okay. Indigo is a deep, rich color found on the same part of the spectrum as the color blue. Indigo corresponds to the planets of Saturn and Venus and is sacred to the goddess Isis and the Virgin Mary. And associated with renewal, relaxation, reflection, and the easing of tension, this color can be used in rituals that require meditation, trance work, or used to welcome new beginnings and conduct house blessings. So it's a very dark, dark blue.
Now, would that also be associated with depression and vulnerability?
I think the depression vulnerability wasn't that yellow.
It's not what I had in yellow.
Because yellow is supposed to help with evoking happiness, encourage healing, promote clairvoyance, insight, for protection, healing guidance, brighten your mood, and expel depression is yellow.
All right.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that it can't work for indigo. It's just not on my reference that I have in front of me.
Okay.
And then we have blue, which is the color that connects with the heavenly and divine. Blue is sacred to Zeus, Mary, the Egyptian goddess of sky and heaven, which is Nut. Blue associated element is water. Blue candles can be used working to promote strength and healing. Blue also neutralizes intense vibrations and can be used to induce a sense of peace and tranquility, which makes it a popular candle color for house cleansings and energy work. Blue novena or pull-out candle can be used to petition saints and deities for specific works.
Okay, so it can also enhance the intuition, clarity, trust as well.
Very good. What do you have for pink?
Well, it's not as detailed as what you have in pink, but I do have...
You don't know what I have in pink.
You have more than what I have. Because what I found is that with pink, it helps with friendship, love, connections, tenderness, self-love, which is very important, compassion, nurturing, and it also helps with the heart. And it is the one that is used for friendship and that sweet love that everybody strives to have.
It's the color and essence of true love. So if you were going to do a candle to find love, this is your color, not the red.
Right.
This is also sacred to Aphrodite, Venus. So those are both love-inspired deities. It's the color of emotional love, representing affection, compassion, beauty, fidelity. This is why it's used to promote romantic relationships and monogamy, and marriage, as well as the rituals to attract new love and happiness. It can be also used to temper and heal feuds between friends, dispel anger, and promote a sense of harmony in a relationship. I'd like to have the listeners be patient with me. I'm getting over a head cold, so if I sound funny, I'm sorry.
You sound fine to me.
Well, good. So next is purple, which of course is the color of royalty and the divine. It is the color of power and supernatural. When you come across purple flowers, that's a blessing from deities above. Purple candles can be used, but they require a lot of energy. So to be useful, you have to really practice with using this candle. You have to get a higher vibration. It's well suited for spirit work, trance meditation, and astral travel. Burn purple candles for psychic insight and when performing divination. It's a good candle to do scrying.
Right. And it's good use in the spirituality as well.
Then what do you get for brown?
Now that's an earth-related or used with animal-related workings because brown is grounding and it's stability, safety, justice, and balance. It is the element of earth, of course, and it's a connection with Gaia.
Now, when you need strength or courage, this is your go-to candle. This is definitely your go-to candle.
Mhm.
Do you have anything for gray?
I have nothing for gray.
So next is gray, and gray represents place between worlds, or the veil that divides humans from unknown. Gray is sacred to the fates and the Gray sisters, as well as Mercury, Athena. Gray is connected to the element of air, and also can be used in ancestral work or travel. Gray candles are best used for spirit communication and to neutralize negative energy. You can also use gray for communication, knowledge, and wisdom. Light a gray candle when studying or reading to assist in retaining knowledge, so you can use it for your homework, or burn a gray candle in the home to gain awareness of the spirits that might reside within.
I think I need to do that when doing research for the podcast. Just saying.
Okay. You might want to go get you a gray candle then.
Yep.
Now, black is associated with evil and baneful magic. It's based on bias and systematic racism. Though some perceive magic use the color black as evil, dirty, primitive, important that the color white is good, pure, clean. This belief is incorrect. That reality black has actually represented life in many cultures throughout history. And the color of dark or wanting moon is sacred to Diana and associated with the planet Saturn and the elements earth and water. The color of wisdom and death, black symbolizes resurrection and renewal. Black is the absence of light and contains all colors. Black is a wonderful color to use for absorbing and deflecting negative energy, spirits, curses, and hexes. Black candles can be used in banishing situations as well.
Banishing, protection, shielding, putting up shields,
Yes.
breaking patterns in transformations that you want to do to improve it, and helping you through your grief.
I came across an article that said that if someone had put a hex on you or a curse on you, you would see a lot of really large spiders.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, last night the cat was playing with something with a large spider. It was only one, but I'm like, I'm getting the candle. That's it. Lighting the candle.
Yep.
Like, it's winter. It's getting to be cooler outside. They're coming in. I get it. But it was like, I only see one, but we're not taking any chances.
Exactly.
So what do you got for white?
Well, I have a couple things. White is for purity and truth. It represents new beginnings and cleansings, used for blessings, to attract positive energy, healing, and connection with ancestors, and using it with the moon magic.
Yes, and also is known as the color of goodness and balance, and the color of snow. And white can be used to freeze other energies or disturbances that are coming from outside forces. So the color white is basically a blank canvas that you can transform. So let's say you don't have a pink candle, but you want to manifest a platonic relationship. You can substitute a white candle for any candle,
Right, for any other color.
any other color, because it is a blank canvas.
Right.
It also will attract inspiration and creativity and use it to create a sacred space.
Cool.
All right, I have gold.
Okay.
And gold and silver are the last two that I have in my research. Did you have anything other than those two that we need to go over?
No, I think that's all I have.
Okay.
As far as my last two, yeah.
Okay.
I think we're the same.
So the color gold contains male god energy, specifically that which is linked with the sun and the god Apollo, Ra, and Horus, Mithras, and Ushun. They're all connected to gold. The solar energy of gold corresponds to fire and is utilized to seek abundance, prosperity, attraction, and money. Incorporate the gold color into rituals to call in the divine masculine or to influence someone or something. If you're in a negotiation for a project, implementing a gold candle, you can work on attracting an employer or client to get their attention.
Yeah, it could do the financial gain for you and, like you said, the business endeavors.
So the last candle is silver, and that's the divine feminine. It's sacred to all lunar goddesses and is imbued with lunar properties. It can be used to represent any moon phase required. Use silver candles regarding psychic work, money, financial stability, peace, protection, spiritual guidance, as well as any rituals to enhance spiritual wisdom. Silver can be used to promote clairvoyance, motherhood, and marriage.
I also found that it works well for reflection and intuition.
It's like you can almost line these candles up. Just light them all. Let's just light them all.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to dive into the different types of candles and what they could be used for. Like I said before, if you don't have a specific color candle that you want to use, you can use the white one. The type of candle you use is going to help for what you need it to be used for. Like a votive candle, a typical votive will burn 10 to 15 hours. It's about 2 inches in height and fits into a glass or ceramic votive holder. You can use a votive candle without a holder for a shorter burn time, or you will want to do wax divination after you set the intention. These candles come in a variety of color and often sold in packs and can be purchased for a reasonable price, making them suitable for beginning candle magic toolkit. Like Walmart has them, like I think it was a set of 8 or set of 4.
Mm-hmm.
The novena or vigil candles, and you can see those at Dollar General. Those are the type of candles that have the glass holder that is tall, and you can see them in a church burning, like
Oh.
a Catholic church leaves them burning all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's also called a 7-day candle, but it can burn 7 to 9 days. The novena or vigil candles are probably the best well-known and accessible candle out there. They're popular in Santeria, folk magic, hoodoo, and voodoo. These candles, in several versions and styles, have some labels associated with Catholic saints. Some may have good luck symbols on them or words painted on the glass. Others are plain and don't feature any images. Novena candles come in a variety of colors and work well for dressing. And by dressing, that means you can put sigils on there. You can use essential oils and herbs, depending on what you're wanting to manifest with that particular candle.
Mm-hmm.
The candles are intended to burn all the way down without interruption, but you can place them in a sink, bathtub, or shower if you wish to contain the flame to take extra precaution. Now, earlier in the year, I was trying to manifest something and needed it to happen as quickly as possible. And I went to see my friend Krista at the Mage Apothecary. And she knows my backstory and everything. And I'm just like, okay, I don't want to manifest anything that is going to come back on me karmatically. Because that's one thing you do need to be careful. I was going through, obviously, an emotional state. And I didn't want to set out an intention that was going to, I didn't think I was in the headspace to be making that decision, to know that it was appropriate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And she told me to go Dollar General and get me this candle and don't blow it out and let it burn. And the day that it burned out, what I was trying to manifest happened hours later.
Yeah, that it did.
Yeah, so it was about the intention I set, and that I believed it was going to come out. I believed that was what was going to happen, and Krista told me to do it, so I did it. And so but I made sure it was on a flame and heat resistant item.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't going to catch fire. So it's very careful with any kind of candle work. Make sure that you have it in a fireproof container that is made for candles.
Right. Very important. Yeah.
Yes, very important. Now the tea light candle can burn up to 3 hours, and tea lights are worthwhile yet affordable investments. These candles are widely available, sold in a variety of colors and in large packs. Tea lights are perfect for making ritual circles or creating altars to enhance spell work, because there's so little, you can arrange them into whatever design you want. You can drop a little scented oil on and sprinkle some herbs on the top of the tea light.
Mm-hmm.
These are really good to have in your toolkit because it's 3 hours. If you don't have time to, like what I was manifesting was a big thing. I needed time. It wasn't going to be realistic to say tomorrow. And so that's where the novena candle or vigil candle came in handy. Now, some things you're manifesting, the tea light can work just fine.
Right.
If you have 3 hours for it to burn.
Yeah.
Now, the beeswax candle can burn 60 plus hours.
Yeah.
And the beeswax has a long history of magic. It was once rare and also dangerous to acquire, which only added to the candle's mystery and spiritual potency. Beeswax is a natural material and burns longer, making it a luxury item among modern candle magic.
Yeah, that one's interesting because you can make your
Yeah.
own candles out of the beeswax and
Yes.
wicks. And then when you're rolling up your beeswax, you could put in the herbs and such that will help in your manifestation when you burn it.
Yes. And it has a stronger vibration and intent.
Mm-hmm.
So next is soy candles, and they burn from 5 to 10 hours. These candles are natural and sometimes preferred by those working with earth magic. They retain scents well, but tend to have shorter burn times than beeswax candles. They can also be very brittle and difficult to mold or carve if you're wanting to do that with a candle. Most soy candles are found already encased in glass, and they are best used regarding healing, renewal, or call on nature, spirits, and faith.
Interesting.
Now, this next candle I've never seen before. Now, it's called 7-knob candles, and it has a 7-day burn. 7-knob candles, which are molded with 7 rounded knobs stacked on top of one another, are free to be used by all practitioners. They become popular among practitioners of African folk magic, conjure, and voodoo since 1930.
Mm-hmm.
The standard practice with a 7-knob candle is to dedicate each knob to a wish. You can choose a different wish for each knob or use the same wish for all of them. You then carve each knob with your wish or initials of a person you are doing this for. Then dress the candle with essential oils or herbs, and you burn it for 7 nights, 1 knob per night.
Right, 1 knob per day.
You want to pinch or snuff the flame out, never blow it out.
Right.
When this is completed, this candle is a wonderful addition to your toolkit, especially for multi-day workings.
Yep.
So it's gonna burn 1 knob a night. You don't blow it out, and then there you go.
Yep.
You just snuff it. Now the pull-out candles will burn 3 to 7 days, and those are similar to the vigil candles,
Mm-hmm.
but they are typically 8.5 inches tall and come inside a glass holder that's the same size and shape of the candle. But unlike the vigil candles, pull-out candles can also be removed from the glass and used on their own. That's why they're called, obviously, pull-out candles.
Mm-hmm.
These candles are perfect for a variety of rituals. They can be carved or dressed with oils and herbs be put directly onto the bottom of the glass with the candle placed on top and left to burn out completely. These candles, which can become very popular due to the efficiency and how easy it is to personalize them, are essentially good to have in your toolkit for candles.
Right.
And then I have the chime candles, and their burn time is 90 minutes to 2 hours. The chime candle are a must for any practitioner, especially a beginner. They are 4 inches tall and have a variety of colors and can be easily burned down quickly. So they work well for more, doing something that you want to manifest and not be sitting there for 5 hours.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're easy to purchase. They're usually reasonably priced, $1 or $2. Krista at her store, I think she sells them for $1 each. Okay, next we have the figure candles, and the burn time on those depends on the figure. Now, the figure of these can be shaped like people, animals, or other shapes, and are used in sympathetic magic or form a spell-based work or principle that attracts. So the specific shape of the candle attracts the desired outcome. For example, a black cat would be utilized to attract luck and ward off jinxes, whereas a male or female figure could be used to represent a specific person you wish to attract, heal, or end.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the pillar candle, which is going to give you a 30 to 35 hour commitment. The pillar candles are widely available. They can be replaced by the pull-out candle, very easily. The pillar candles are your last resort or preference. Feel free to use them. They are great for setting intentions for a long-term goal because the longer it burns, the more it's going to work for a long-term goal.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to want to, set your ritual, so it's going to have to go multiple days or weeks, and they're great for carving, and you can write different things on them. I used a pillar once and regretted it. Because of the burn time. It was kind of like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's what I had. Okay.
Yeah.
So then the last one is taper candles, and they burn for 12 hours. Taper candles are distinguished by their long, narrow-shaped, and conical top. They are best used when performing simple intention settings. They are fragile and have a messy burn cycle that results in a lot of dripping wax, so they are not the best candidates for trying to carve on them. They work well for candle divination. You can dress these candles in jasmine and lavender or other love attraction oils like rose. Because the tapers are tall, they are typically burned in sections over a course of several days. Use colors such as gold and silver for celestial and divine assistance, as well as money workings. You have anything to add to that?
No, I don't think so.
Now, there's one aspect of the candle magic that I found really intriguing, and that's what happens when the candle's burning and what that means.
Oh, interesting. I don't have anything on that.
So the way that a candle burns has everything to do with what's happening around us. Invisible energy, much like the air, vibrations, magnetic forces can influence the event of what's happening around us. You want to pay close attention to your interpretation of what it's doing when it's burning. So you should always cleanse your candle, like smudge it. You can do it through incense, but you do want to cleanse the candle before you start to use it. This is a side note, just like with anything else. If you are using the candle for ritual and vigil candles, the front of the candle is for the material world, for prosperity workings. It is for money, healing, and physical health, also protection of the home and the people you wish to protect. So, when you're dressing the candle, you may want to mark which is front, which is side, back, left, right, left. The back is for spirit and mental and emotional world. Anything related to invisible energies is represented there. The left side is the past. No matter where it's a distant or recent, it represents the past on the left always. The right side is the future. It will likely happen if no changes are made.
Okay.
So now, how are you going to interpret the candle when it's burning? From a strong to weak burning, the speed at which a candle burns and other events that happen during the burn all mean something. So generally this means a green light for your intent is clear and your prayer has been successfully sent, especially if the candle is burning in glass and there was no wax residue, scorching, or blackening of the flame. It's a good chance that the intentions will work in your favor and you will have an answer quickly. So a good, clean, steady, strong burn is a good sign.
Okay. Do you have to take note of the color and...
Well, I'm going to go through all
Oh,
this.
okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. So a slow, because we're doing how it burns first.
Okay.
And then we're going to do the color of the flames.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. Now a slow, weak burn. This could point to a weakly conducted prayer or general intention. Focus your energy and perhaps fine-tune and direct your intention with time and effort. If the flame grows larger, it means your intentions are gaining power. So if you notice it's burning slow and weak, you need to now, while this candle's burning, redirect that intention. Because what you're trying to manifest is not going to happen at this point.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So a candle that hisses, sizzles, crackles, or pops, its message is directed. I got Rice Krispies in my head with that. To one to whom the message is directed is responding. A spirit or ancestor may be trying to work with you. The louder the sounds become, the stronger the will to communicate with you. So if you're hissing, sizzling, crackling, or pops, you've got somebody on the other side wanting to help you.
Okay.
A candle that won't burn all the way. That you want to cleanse. Cleansing must be done before continuing. You need to smudge that candle, the room, your white sage, mugwort, anything like those that can get rid of negative energy. You're going to want to stop what you're doing, do the cleansing, and then you're going to relight the candle and see how it burns.
Okay.
Okay, so the candle that burns only on one side. Expect only a partial response to what you're trying to manifest. This could leave things unresolved or unsettled in daily matters. The type of candle could have been the culprit. Refocus your intention, find a different candle, and try the process again to see if you get the same results or better. Because you want to take it could have been a faulty candle too.
Right. With how these things are burning also, I assume it's necessary to not have a fan blowing in or going in the room that you are burning this candle as well.
Yes, because that's just for fire safety. Yeah, you should not have a ceiling fan going or any kind of fan going because you're blowing the flame.
Right, because it could impact the flame. Right.
Right. And of course, you want to think about the placement. You don't want to put the candle underneath something that's going to cause something that's styrofoam to smolder. Your candle should be out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
So if the candle burns very fast, there are two ways that you can interpret that. If it burns down quickly, so if it burns unevenly, it indicates that something was not right. You trying to perform your ritual another time. This is not the time for it. If it is controlled, even fast burn, it means that it was successful.
Okay, so, and you may cover this later, just let me know. So, if you determine that it might not be the time to burn it for that purpose, do you keep that candle to burn for that purpose at another time?
Well, if it's burned down so quickly and it's not burning evenly, you don't want to use that candle again,
Okay.
just in case it's a candle.
Okay.
But basically, it's kind of giving you the if it's burning fast, because most candles don't burn fast.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at it burning fast and it's starting to not burn evenly. You're going to want to let it burn out, but you may want to try again with a new candle.
Gotcha.
Because, I mean, if it's not burning right, you've done something wrong or you're asking for something that's not going to happen.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this one is a little scary. The candle that explodes or catches something on fire.
Hmm.
Okay, so if that happens, you need to be very careful because either someone is attacking you or the person you are attacking is protected from harm and the spell has been reflected back to you. So if you're trying to attack someone, which we don't recommend that, but if that's what you're doing and this is what happens, they're more protected. And you're kind of getting what you kind of karmatic payback right there.
Yep. Reflecting right back at you.
Right. So, but if you're not trying to attack someone and it does this, then you are under attack and may not be aware of that.
Hmm.
Now, do keep in mind that not everything the candle does is a sign. There's different things that could affect the burn of the candle. So you kind of, that's why it's kind of like, okay, if that doesn't happen, maybe I should try a different candle
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
see.
Gotcha.
Now, the candle's flame is also very important. You want to watch the candle burn. That gives you a lot of insight. In the middle of a ritual, it can tell you what kind of energies are present and how successful you are with your intentions. Every waver, pop, and crackle has a meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to jump into that. Do you have anything before I do that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So an unsteady, jumping, sputtering, or flickering candle flame is when there's no wind, so you don't have the ceiling fan going, you don't have a window open, as long as there's no draft, there may be resistance against you. Try putting more willpower and energy behind your intention. If you're directing it towards somebody, then you could be picking up on it and they could be picking up on it and working against it, consciously or not. The higher the jumping flame, the more resistance there is. So in my book, you should be questioning what you're doing at that point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you're getting that kind of, let's just call it pushback, then you're probably doing an intention you should not be doing.
Hmm.
You may want to rethink that.
Yep.
Now, a vanishing candle flame, either your intent is insufficient or the spirit in question may disagree with your motives. Sharpen your intent, rephrase your prayer or question, and try again.
Now, what do you mean?
Because you just got told no.
What do you mean it disappears? Like it's still burning, but you just there's no color to it?
It just vanishes. It's just gone.
And goes out, or does it flick back on? I'm questioning because I don't.
Well, I mean, it can go out. There's like if it goes out without this and that. To me, a vanishing candle light, it just vanishes. You don't see it anymore. I mean, it could pop back in, but you just don't see the flame.
Okay.
If you're having to continually relight the candle,
Mm-hmm.
and again, no drafts or other thing going on, you need something's extinguishing that, so your intentions are being considered by your spirits. There is still work to be done, so keep focusing. So if it won't let you light it, this is not the time and you do not have the intention set correctly.
Okay.
But you're supposed to keep focusing and try to get it correct. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Okay. A small, strong candle flame. As a rule, the smaller the burn, the less energy is present. A low burn means that there is less energy fueling itself. And if it is steady, not weak or flickering, it's not a bad sign. It will usually grow as the process continues, showing you exactly how the energy increases and decreases. A low energy may make it take longer or it'll be less effective. And again, I think all this goes back to your initial intention.
Right, right,
If you're trying to manifest something that isn't going to seek your higher good or you shouldn't be doing, then you're going to get these different things.
right.
Now, a bright or tall candle flame. So this type of flame indicates a significant amount of energy is being channeled and suggests that the energy flow is robust and vigorous. When a candle burns in this manner, it often signifies that the intention behind the flame is fueled by a strong force and that the flame is communicating that something substantial is at work. With a high flame doesn't guarantee the success, it does hint that the outcome might be swift and impactful. I think about a beacon signaling that the energy is moving rapidly, pushing through barriers with intensity. The results of such are likely to be noticed and potent manifestation quicker than usual. Now, I did a cord cutting.
Oh, yeah.
I felt it was the time, cord cutting with the ex-husband. I'm all about timing on things. I think if you do something too quickly, you're too emotional, it's not going to work. I did a cord cutting and about burned the house down.
Yeah, you did.
The flames were 2 feet tall. They were popping, but they were very tall. And I had to snuff it out because that was too much. And so then when I relit it outside, I got the tall flame again.
Mm-hmm.
And it burned and burned and burned. It was doing something there. So the cord cutting was working.
Right.
Now, if the candle flame dances, so some candles flicker, some move in a steady, dancing rhythm. All your candles seem to dance, and there's a sign that there is a lot of energy present, but maybe not the kind you necessarily want. Unlike a flickering burn, a waving, dancing burn is a sign of high chaotic energy. If the fire is tall and bright, the success will have a twist. If it's low and weak, it is likely to come with a lot of complications.
Interesting.
Now, this next one also happened during my cord cutting.
Yes, because I know where you're going.
If the candle burns with multiple flames, obviously in a cord cutting, you have 2 candles, 2 wicks. One represents you, one represents the person you're cutting the cord with. That person doesn't necessarily have to be a spouse, ex-spouse, it could be a friend, toxic relationship, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a cord that connects them together. So mine, after I extinguished the flame and relit it, had multiple flames to it, not just 2.
Right. Not just 2.
Which I showed you a picture of it, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 or more flames on a single candle could indicate that someone is either working alongside you or against you, depending on your intentions. It could mean either unity or separation. Since a split flame in a ritual candle can indicate duality or conflicting energies and a need for balance and harmony, the person conducting the ritual should pay close attention to their intentions and consider who might be working against them.
Yep. Interesting.
Yes. So, now a blue candle flame. Now, I do a lot of candle stuff. I'm sure you know that, Kim. I can talk about periodic. But I have different color candles. I do a little different color things with the candles. And I was doing something a couple weeks ago, and the flame was blue. Because I had to run and get Google, because,
Yeah.
why is that blue? And it was blue at the bottom. The whole flame wasn't blue, but it was a big blue section of flame. And blue is the color of spirit. And a flame that burns blue has a lot of spiritual energy pouring into it. Keep an eye out for white soot. See where spiritual helps is likely to manifest. So if you're burning the candle and it's in an enclosed container where soot can be, look to see if that soot's white. But yeah, so the color of blue is spirit.
Cool.
So a lot of spiritual energy pouring into that. Now, red or yellow candle flames. The red is the color for mundane world. If your flame burns red or yellow, it means that your working is being powered by regular worldly energy.
Okay. Non-psychic or
Yes,
spiritual. Okay.
yes, yes. Now, a flickering candle flame, first you want to check for drafts like we talked about before. If it flickers towards the north, it is for a mundane reason, not a spiritual reason. To the east, it means that mental aspects will be successful. To the south, it means that there are plenty of physical power in your ritual. To the west, it means there are a lot of emotional energy involved.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. And then we have the smoke.
Yeah, then there's the smoke.
Talking about the smoke that the candle might give off. So if you get puffs of white smoke, blessings upon you, it's a good sign indeed, and it indicates your intentions were heard and will be granted. Puffs of black smoke, there is something or somebody in the way and perhaps working against you. Negative energies might be fought or purged. Now, honestly, I've never paid attention to the smoke off my candles.
Mm-hmm.
Have you?
No, no. I
Yeah.
mean, I have, but I've never, like I said, I didn't know anything about the candle magic to research it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's,
Well, yeah, I've gotten the blue flame a lot, which I'm like, okay, this one's blue too. I gotta, it kind of like, I gotta look this up. Why is this blue again? Now, if the smoke drifts towards you, then you are performing a ritual to draw something to you, like love or money. That's a good sign.
mm,
It means that you are attracting what you seek. If you are performing a ritual to sending something negative to someone, like a hex or a jinx, this is a very bad sign. You will not be able to get away from the consequences of your actions, and that negative energy is going to stick to you if you continue.
hmm.
I don't do that stuff.
No.
Yeah. So if the smoke drifts away from you, this can be a sign of energy that is slipping away from you. This is not a good sign. It means that what you're working on is not getting everything it needs to be successful. If you are sending positive energy outward, like a healing spell, it may be a sign that the energy is flowing to where it needs to go. Watch the shape and color to interpret what it means. Now, the candle remains. So a clean burn without wax drips. This is a good sign and things are going according to plan. The candle burns cleanly and if no mess remains, you can interpret the shape of the wax strips for more information about your ritual, but a dripless candle means that the divine has nothing more to tell you right now. Not everything is an omen. Sometimes an untimely breeze or damp wick can make the candle do things which it normally wouldn't. So gotta keep that in mind. Now we have black bits in the melted wax.
Mm-hmm.
Now candle wick shed as it burns, and it will leave small black crumbs on the wax, but it also can signify success. But it can signify that success will bring along a baggage with it. A love spell might leave some broken hearts behind, or a successful spell might be unintended consequences. So if you continue this ritual, be ready to have some cleanup work to do because of the black bits that are in the candle.
Hmm. Like what?
If your intentions is to draw love to you, you will find love, but there will also might be heartache.
Oh, okay.
It may not. I mean, there's free will out there. We talk about that all the time. But if you're if like Susie Q's trying to want the guy at work to notice her, and she does a candle, she goes with the red one, let's say, but she's wanting fidelity. Well, it's not going to work out too well. She got black spots in the candle. Well, that's going to show that she's gonna get his attention, going to draw him to it, but there's also going to be problems.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah. If there's wax left over, wax, glitter, herbs, or other candle remains stuck on the side of the glass, that can mean there is unfinished business in your area and you may need to work to resolve some difficulties that you have. If the candle leaves a lot of glitter, roots, stones, or herbs behind it, it may have been overloaded because stones obviously are not going to burn. So you
True.
might want to be careful of what you're putting on the candle too.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Black or white soot remains in the candle. White soot represents spiritual help, while black soot represents challenges. If black soot appears at the top of the candle and turns white further down, it means that the challenge was overcome. If black spots appear near the bottom, it means the challenge is interrupting your work. On the other hand, white soot near the bottom means you are having help by the spirits.
Hmm. Wow,
And that's what I have.
so much to
That's a
read.
lot.
Yeah.
And there's so much more to this. Like it's this is a controversial topic, but your purists, I guess you can call purists, you never blow out a candle
Right.
because you're blowing out the intention of the wish. But of course, with a birthday cake, what are you doing? You're blowing out the candle.
Yeah.
And you know the intention and the length that you burn the candle is very important as well. If you're trying to manifest something huge like selling a house, a birthday candle's not going to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Unless you keep doing a birthday candle each day.
But there's so little to a birthday candle.
Right.
You know, it could have burned down in what 15 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
And you're trying to manifest something huge. Now, if you want to manifest something, smaller, I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but I'm thinking that your odds are going to be less in your favor by using a tiny little candle for such a big job.
Well, that makes sense.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
What do you do when you are done with your candle? Well, how you're supposed to dispose of it when it's done with that intention. And what I found is that you either bury it outside or you dispose of it in another way that's useful for nature.
Okay, so on the burying it outside, is that all you had on that? Are you going to expand on that before I say anything?
No, I was expecting you to expand.
Okay, okay. If you're doing a love ritual, you've burned your pink candle or white candle. You put the rose and such oil on it and dress it in lavender and whatever and what's left, that you're going to want to bury like by a lavender plant or a rose bush, but you want to bury that on your land.
Hmm.
However, if you're doing something that is not going to draw love to you, but maybe something towards another person, or you're trying to break a hex or a jinx, you're going to bury that candle off your land. You don't want it anywhere near you. So once you've burned it, you're going to bury the remains outside of your property.
And why is that?
Well, because when you're burying something on your land, like the what's left over for the love candle, that's still attached to you because you're part of that land.
Hmm.
And that could be a potted plant, it could be down in the garden, wherever. But if you're trying to ward off something negative, you don't want to drag that negative to you by mistake.
Okay.
So that candle would be buried off your property, the remains. So it's not to interfere with you.
Okay. So when do you know?
What do you mean? When do you know?
When do you know? I mean, do you know every time that you're burning a candle to, you don't know you're burning a candle to break a hex or,
Well, you don't know you set intention before you burn it. You've smudged the candle, then you set the intention that what you want this candle to do and what you want this candle to manifest.
mm-hmm.
So if I pick a black candle that I want it to manifest to, keeps this person from continually psychically attacking me or to protect me from anything I feel that they're doing, then once that candle's done, I'm going to bury it outside of my land.
Okay.
But you set that intention before you do anything.
Mm-hmm. So you have to know that's what's happening.
Well, I mean, there are signs sometimes, when things never go right, you're, constantly tripping, you've got a lot of spiders in your house, evidently it's a bad thing. So I think you feel it, especially psychic. You could kind of feel that maybe someone's not being totally upfront with you.
Okay.
And you could do it just as a blanket protection scenario. If anybody is coming against me,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I do. I mean, I follow a couple of Facebook pages, and it's really amazing how many people feel that somebody has cast a hex on them,
Mm-hmm.
and they have true anxiety over that. So, I see set the intention with a black candle or white candle and go from there. But you are going to bury it, depending on the intent. Anything negative or bad, you don't want to bury on your land. You don't want to draw that to you. The power of, the law of attraction.
Okay.
But that's just what I think. What else do you have?
That's all I have.
So do we want to wrap it up? You want to end it?
All right, so I guess that wraps up this episode, Carrie?
Yes. Thank you, listeners, for listening to Psychic Bent. Hopefully you found candle magic enjoyable and resonate with you. Kim, you want to add anything else to that?
I'll just say do research out there, look it up. There's plenty of books and online resources out there if you want to get more information on how candle magic works and what to do with it and everything.
All right. Well, thank you, listeners, again. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. May your light shine bright. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast, Psychic Bent. If you enjoyed Psychic Bent, please like, follow, rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to Psychic Bent. We can be reached on Facebook at Psychic Bent Podcast. Our email address is psychicbent1@gmail.com. May your light shine bright.